What up?
What's good, man?
Chilling, hungover. What's up?
Thank you for coming out. So I just wanted to get your input. Like, what do you think about the sneaker culture in Dallas, and what do you think is going on today?
The sneaker culture in Dallas has definitely evolved over the last few years. I see it going more towards other brands, not just so much Yeezys, Jordans. I don't know if it has an effect because a lot of people are moving here from other cities. So you have a lot of different cultures from other cities coming into Dallas, making it sort of like a melting pot. But I'm loving the direction it's going in, definitely.
What influenced your passion and love for sneakers?
Mainly growing up in like the 90s, most of your sneakers were geared towards basketball players. So my love came from just loving basketball. My heroes were NBA players. Knowing that they had the dopest shoes, automatically I gravitated towards liking the sneakers that they had on. So being that I couldn't really afford a lot of shoes growing up, we were kind of poor. As soon as I got out of college and got a job, it was a wrap. It was a wrap.
What would you say is the most underrated kick of all time?
The underrated?
Most underrated pair of sneakers of all time.
Of all time. Woo.
Throw it on you real quick.
Definitely have to be a Reebok brand sneaker. I don't think people give the Shaqnosis, the Reebok Shaqnosis, as much respect as it deserves. I don't think people, when you see Shaq, you don't really think of sneakers, because I mean, he had his own brand and a couple of his shoes were in Payless, but that Reebok Shaqnosis is definitely was a trendsetter back in the 90s. You could tell I'm a little older than I grew up in the 90s, so a lot of my favorite sneakers are from that 90s era, you know what I'm saying?
What are your top 10 kicks in 2019?
Top 10, woo. This was hard. It took me a minute to like really come up with this list, but I think it's a pretty good one for me, you feel me? My number one sneaker, of course, I'm gonna go ahead and get the hype beat stuff out the way, let's be real. The number one sneaker for me was the Travis Scott Air Jordan 1. I mean, it's kind of self-explanatory. It's a Jordan 1 with probably the hottest rap artist out right now. That sneaker is something I don't have, but it is in my top 10. My number 2 would be the Travis Scott Air Jordan 6, mainly because I love 6s, and again, Travis Scott Air Jordan is kind of self-explanatory. My number 3 is the Sakai Waffle, the original colorway, the blue one. I like the other colorways that came out, but that first blue colorway with like, I think it had yellow and red on it, bruh, fire. Again, another sneaker I do not have. But I will get these sneakers. When I hit the lotto, I'm buying all this shit up. You feel me? Let's see. I'm gonna go off another Jordan 1 that I don't think gets the respect it deserves that came out this year is the Obsidian Jordan 1, like the dark blue North Carolina colorway. I feel like a lot of people aren't giving that sneaker the respect it deserves. Definitely not. Jordan 1, LA to Chicago's. That's one of my top 10 because just the fact that you could just basically turn that sneaker from one shoe to another one, especially with it being the LA colorway and then going to the Chicago 1 colorway, just straight up fire, you feel me? Now I do like a lot of runners. Runners are one of I love runner sneakers. A couple of years ago, runners were straight up, I think, running the game, you feel me? No pun intended. And I feel like New Balance is definitely bringing runners back. So another sneaker that's in my top 10 is the New Balance and I made 99 V2. Bruh, fire, fire. New Balance, I feel like going into 2020 is gonna take over. It's gonna blow up for real, for real. Another New Balance I have on my list is the New Balance and Bodega No Bad Days 997 VS. I saw that sneaker in person and that is definitely on my gotta get list for 2020. That was one of the most fire sneakers in 2019 if you ask me. Going back, I kind of grew up in the Air Force One era, so I had to go with the Clyde Air Force One that came out about a month ago, the blue one. Just the fact that it had materials underneath that you could get to by like, I guess using a sandpaper remover or something like that. That's just a dope concept. This is a sneaker that didn't release over here in the US, but it released in Europe. And every time I wear this sneaker, I turn heads. Sometimes I go to the mall in this sneaker just to see people look at them. It's the Species Air Max 90. It's like gray, has like scales on it, gives you like a reptilian feel, and this kind of like lime green midsole. So fire. I just think, and I don't even like Air Max 90s. That was the first Air Max 90 I've ever bought, period. And I was like, yo, I think I might get into Air Max 90s because of this shoe. And my last top 10 sneaker of the year is a sneaker I have on right now. Might as well go ahead and pull it off. This sneaker is so fire. This is the Soulland and Nike Blazer, the Friday Blazer. It came out about a month ago, only released in Europe. So you don't really see a lot of people over here in the US with this sneaker. I feel like if this sneaker would have released in the US and it would have got more pub over here, a lot of people would be talking about this shoe. But yeah, I got it, so you know what I'm saying? That is my top 10. That is my top 10 sneakers of 2019. I feel like a lot of sneakers came out this year, so it's really kind of hard to say what is the top 10. Each person is probably gonna have their different top 10, I'm pretty sure of it, but 2019 was definitely a good year for the culture, you feel me?